This program is part of the Cosmic Potato Podcast Network. For more shows like this, visit our website at cosmicpotato.com.
Hey, listen!
All right, you guys, podcast time.
Make it so.
It's me, Mario!
I'm Batman. Strong am I with the Force.
Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You're a wizard, Harry.
And welcome to World War G episode 194. I'm Troy.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Colton.
We're starting later today.
The bewitching hour. Just kidding. It's like 5:30.
Yeah, because we've been messing around with our new equipment that we had, and we couldn't quite get it to work.
It's been 3 months, guys. We need to get this new equipment up and running.
I know.
Hey, Troy and we started from small and simple things with our fancy mics.
Oh, I remember. You guys have definitely upgraded your sound quality over the last couple years. But now we need to reach the next level.
We do.
And we can't do that.
And it's right there within our grasp. I'm actually holding on to it right now.
Well, if I wasn't here, you guys would be able to.
That's true.
I'm ruining that. Yeah. Go ahead, kick me out.
Because we can do the two mics, we just can't figure out how to do the third mic. Mm-hmm. So if anybody out there is listening that knows anything about audio and mixers and stuff, please email me at worldwgpodcast@gmail.com.
Maybe you guys can FaceTime and just get it all.
Yeah, get it going.
Figure it out.
Okay. So we've talked about the last couple of weeks. We've started up this FML.
Fantasy Movie League.
Yes. The World War G Fantasy Movie League. We've had a couple people that have joined, not just us three. And I think right now, as far as the standings goes, and this week's about to close, I think Colton was in the lead.
What?
I think I moved into second.
I was at the bottom.
AJ was at the...
Yeah, you're still at the bottom.
Oh, man.
So let me check here.
I prefer the bottom.
Yeah. Well, you're power bottom. Congratulations.
Just kidding. Actually, the top. Never mind. Wow. TMI. Sorry.
So, yeah, Colton's at the top with 62 million box office, then me with 58, then Pigeon Inferno, which I found out was Nate, at 57, then Nancy Boy, which is somebody you know.
Brandon Nance, yeah.
Brandon Nance, at 57, or 56, excuse me, and then way down to bottom.
I don't know. Okay, what did I pick differently than you guys?
Here's AJ.
You only picked 4 movies, and you didn't choose Venom. I think that's what killed you.
I did. I chose Venom,
but it's not on there.
It's not on here.
You did A Star Is Born, Smallfoot, Night School, and then A Simple Favor.
Oh, I know I did. I know I picked Venom.
Okay, so question: why didn't you guys fill up all of your screens? Just because you ran out of money?
Ran out of money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thought that you were supposed to fill up all your screens, and so that's what I did. And apparently, it was a pretty good strategy.
It was a good strategy.
Yeah.
Well, did you guys see the perfect Cineplex?
Yes.
Venom, A Star Is Born, and then all of them is The Rest.
The Rest, yeah.
Or All of the Rest, whatever that movie is called. Best of the Rest.
See, I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can kind of pick... How does that work? Have 6 screens with just one movie.
Well, I think that part of it is it's supposed to be how much better that movie did this current week than it did last week.
Right.
Or something. And so that movie must have been an underdog that got a good bump in its views. I'm really not sure how they do it, but that's a silly, perfect Cineplex.
Yeah, it is.
It's well, wait a minute. Venom is the most popular movie out right now, and you have one screen in your theater playing Venom, and the rest is Best of the Rest.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Weird.
It's the rest of the best, apparently.
Who knows?
Okay, so because of that, that app, Fantasy Movie League, they're on Facebook, and they hold little contests and everything. And I, at some point, registered to win 2 free movie tickets, which I did.
Nice.
I don't to any theater or
it's to either AMC, Regal, or Cinemark.
Did you already redeem them and use them?
Not yet.
Okay,
they're coming.
But that's got to be nice since you're not working at the theater anymore. And you don't get free movies.
Yeah, I don't get the perks anymore. So kind of sad about that. But so that got me thinking. Because I also, I was watching a bunch of 90s commercials, which I wanted to do. because it's fun for me. And you know how they always had those competitions? It helps me go to sleep, honestly. All those competitions where you could write in to a certain thing and you could win stuff.
The ones that I remember the most were the ones that were for cereals.
Cereal boxes, yeah.
You had to get a couple of proof of purchases, and then you could actually put it aside.
And then sodas, like bottle caps, mostly Coke, like in the plastic.
Oh, I cheated so much when it came to like getting those free sodas. We would go over to, there's this like gas station just down the road from where I lived growing up, and my friends and I, we'd purposely kind of like tilt the soda sideways, and you could always read like
you can kind of see inside. Yeah.
And then we just read and pick them, and then we'd pop it off, and you had to leave the lid with the lady if you won, but then we'd pop it off, give it to the lady, and go get another one. So we'd walk home with like 2 apiece.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I remember, just speaking of that, it just reminded me, when I was younger, they had that same similar thing, and it turns out that for some reason, every one that was a winner was like, the top was kind of faded or scratched off a little bit. I don't know how that worked, but you remember that old gas station that was up by Horace Mann Elementary?
Yes, yeah.
I went to Horace Mann.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just for 1 year, but anyways,
right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I went there for all years. Yeah, for some reason up there, if you bought like a Mountain Dew that had like the top of the cap was scratched off, you could win a free one.
Yeah.
On the bottom, it always said you won a free one. And then when I was on my 2-year religious walkabout, I was in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we found
a similar event.
Yeah, no, we found this just random vending machine by this apartment complex, and we were like, oh, kind of thirsty. Let's go get a drink. So got a couple drinks. We opened them up. Both of them were winners. Like, that's weird. Let's try again.
Yeah.
So went there the next day, did it again. Both winners again. That entire machine was filled.
Just with winners?
With winners.
Oh, wow.
It was freaking weird. We got so much freaking free Coke. It was insane.
Reminds me of that Office episode where Michael Scott puts the golden tickets all in one of those.
Oh, yeah.
In one shipment to the same place.
He's pretending to be Willy Wonka, running around all having fun. And yeah.
So a competition that I've won, at the end of my senior year, they do like a seniors night to celebrate graduating. Mm-hmm. And it was at Toad's Funplex, or...
Yeah.
You know where Toad's is.
A little mini golf place.
But anyways, they had a foosball competition, and whoever got the highest score in foosball walked home with an iPad 3, which was the best iPad at the time.
Right.
And then they also had a drawing for one, and I didn't win that one. But, yeah, and I swear they do this on purpose, because as soon as you graduate, you get a whole bunch of money, and then they have these competitions, and you pay.
Right.
You pay to play, and so I started playing foosball, and I just kept, I wasn't doing great or anything, but then by some point I was $80 in playing foosball, and I was like, well, frick, I have $300, I'm $80 in, I might as well just try to win. Keep going. And so I did, and I got really good at foosball, and I got a high score, and I walked home with the iPad.
Nice.
So don't ever challenge me in foosball, because I'll win. But
how much was an iPad 3 at the time?
It was like $350 to $400.
How much did you?
It was the one with LTE and Wi-Fi.
Okay. How much did you put in with foosball altogether?
Oh, I got it in like $10 more. It was easy.
Okay. All right.
Huh.
But I was nervous the rest of the night. I was like waiting for someone to beat my score, and I was like, no, this can't happen.
I've invested too much.
Yeah.
I used to call into the radio stations, and I was really good about it, because if they said it was caller number 10, I'd wait 5 seconds, and then I'd call. That was my go-to, and I had like 3 or 4 different radio stations, like on speed dial.
Sure.
Yeah. And I won every single year. I've never had to pay for Vans Warped Tour tickets, Linkin Park, Weezer. I've won at like tons of different concert tickets. That's why I'd go to concerts all the time, and yeah. I haven't called in, like, it's been a long old time since it was just when I was driving around as, like, a courier. Mm-hmm. So I just go and I just listen to the radio and I just call in on all these different times and kept winning. So, Yeah.
See, my brother was always good at that. He was always winning stuff on the radio. And I would try, and I could never get through.
Yeah.
Ever. I think I've won maybe like a handful of times on the radio, movie tickets or whatever. But
I've never even tried.
Yeah.
I have not dialed a radio station's phone number.
Wow.
Ever.
Actually, well, you don't really listen to the radio much, right?
Yeah. When I don't have an audiobook to listen to or a podcast that I'm listening to, I'll listen to like 97.1 in the mornings, but that's pretty much it. And Fridays especially, I'll choose to listen to the radio on Friday mornings on my way to work over anything else because it has the what's his name?
Movie show.
The movie dude.
Yeah, what's the bucket? Tony Toscano.
Yeah, Tony Toscano. I'll listen to him.
Yeah. He does a pretty good review.
Yeah, he's more like you guys, I think.
Yeah, he's
See, I was just going to say, I don't agree with Tony Toscano a lot of the time.
Really?
The one I agree with, the movie review I agree with the most is on YouTube. It's Jeremy Johns. I don't know if you guys have ever watched his stuff.
No.
I agree with him about 90% of the time, turns out. But anyway, I can only think of, I have really bad luck, so I don't win a lot of competitions. There was one time I was at a family reunion and they had a bunch of the jelly beans in the jar. Like, oh, guess the jelly beans and win whatever, like $20 or something. And I won, and apparently I got pretty dang close to the actual number, like within
2 or something.
It was in with maybe like 50.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, that's still pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Did you get to keep the jelly beans?
Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
$20 in a jar full of jelly beans?
Right.
I bet. How old were you?
That's a Friday.
That
I was going to say Friday night. We're on the same wavelength. I was like maybe 13, 14.
Dude, that's a dream right there. Because $20 when you're 13 is a lot of money. And a jar full of jelly beans when you're 13 is a lot of jelly beans.
Made it rain. It's just like throwing jelly beans to the
They're like, sweet. I was going to buy jelly beans this weekend, but now I have jelly beans and enough money to buy more jelly beans.
All right. So now let's take a break, and when we come back, we got some stories to get to. And yeah,
stay tuned.
And yeah, and all that stuff.
I really gotta learn how to sell the end of these segments better. Stay tuned. You won't regret it. On the historic streets of Ogden, there are two kinds of people: readers and non-readers. Here's where you can find their stories.
Booked on 25th Street, located at 147 Historic 25th Street, Ogden, Utah, 84401.
Yeah, stop by and say hi to our friend Marcy. You can pick up a new or used book, or you can sell your own used books.
That's right, you can get 10% store credit on what they can sell the book for.
Stop in and say hi, or call them at 801-529-7720. You can find them on Facebook at facebook.com/bookedon25th, or you can email them at marcy@bookedon25th.com, or visit their website, bookedon25th.com.
Be sure to tell them that World War G sent you. Now back to the episode.
And we're back. Okay, so there was a little bit of a controversy, kind of, sort of, this week. So the new Halloween movie's coming out, and it stars Jamie Lee Curtis again, and people are kind of being up in arms because Jamie Lee is a very big liberal. She's very much a Hollywood liberal.
Through and through.
Yeah, SJW, all that stuff. And she's very anti-gun. Where people are now getting on her case because in this movie, she uses a lot of guns. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's called her being an actress.
Right?
And just because, for example, many actors and actresses have played murderers. I'm sure they're anti-murder. That doesn't mean that, they're being hypocrites.
Yeah.
Well,
and can you imagine anybody else being in the film other than her?
No.
Right? So the direction, she's playing a role, she's playing a character. She doesn't really have much say in the direction that the movie goes. But yeah.
And those are some good points, but I will say that she's the hero in the movie.
Yes.
And so the hero is kind of like, I don't know, they set the example for the viewers.
Right.
So basically it's saying, hey, it's okay to use guns when it's in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
And
when someone's trying to kill you.
yeah, exactly. And that's the whole point of the anti-gun argument is everyone who is pro-gun is always like, well, I need to use it to defend myself. And that's what she's doing in this movie. So I don't understand the outrage, but I do see the hypocrisy a little bit. If I was Jamie Lee Curtis, I would have, maybe been like, why don't we use knives instead? Or something less thing that I hate.
But my point is, like, there are so many people like her in Hollywood that a lot of them have used guns and stuff in film. That doesn't mean that they support it by any means. That just means that they're just acting,
Yeah, I can see that. I can see actually both sides of the spectrum, just because I'm thinking here, if it was like another situation or scenario or some sort of, and I'm trying to pick something that fits this, but let's see. As far as like it would be like Ashton Kutcher, because we all know that he's a really big against human trafficking, right? He's done like tons of stuff. Can you imagine him taking that type of a role, right?
Where he plays a human trafficker and a rapist. I imagine the people that are outraged are more liberal people that are like, what the heck, Jamie? I thought you were one of us.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the more guns that you have being used by heroes in the story that they acquired legally, but they're not like law enforcement, it kind of desensitizes us with it. It gives us more exposure. It lets people know that guns are okay.
A lot of liberals are perfectly fine with like guns and the right to bear arms and stuff. They just want heavier restrictions on who has them and who's able to get them.
Like me,
right?
Well, this is what she had to say about this. She said, "It was just silly because they were trying to make a point without ever asking me what I really think. And what I think might surprise them. I am vocal about common sense gun safety and gun laws. For instance, I fully support an assault I fully support an assault weapon ban. I fully support a bump stock ban. I fully support the Bill of Rights and fully support the Second Amendment, and have absolutely no problem with people owning firearms if they have been trained, licensed, a background check has been conducted, a pause button has been pushed to give time for that process to take place, and they have to renew their license just like we do with automobiles, which are weapons also."
That really doesn't surprise me as far as where her stance is, like, because as a normal liberal, that just makes sense. And like, as an American, and I lean more to, I'm more, conservative, if anything, but I have just growing up, I have some more different background than you, more Republican, but at the same time, I can see when it makes common sense and when it's just like a stupid law, and I'm like, well, that's just retarded.
Oh, for me, I came from a very Republican background.
Yeah.
Very Republican. Staunch. But she then goes on to say that basically he's like, look, she's an actor. She's an actor for hire. She's doing a part. She really had no control about what was written in the script, that sort of thing. It was just her playing a part. So
that's true. But it also wouldn't be the same movie without Jamie Lee Curtis.
Also true.
So she could have leveraged that, too.
Also true.
But it did look like she was using a handgun in the article. Mm-hmm. I'm sure she didn't use an AR-15 or any other assault rifles.
Yeah, you've seen her use a handgun. I think there's also a part where she's using a shotgun.
Watch is going to make they're going to make a point to show that she's got the proper licensing and training.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, for our users listening, if you do want a good home defense weapon, a shotgun is the way to go. Just so you know.
Lots of spread.
Lots of spread.
Get a good spread. All right. Charles Manson?
Was that yours?
But it's your turn.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Oh, we're just going
yeah,
around?
we're just going around.
Format, guys.
Okay. Wait, hold on a second, though. Because I circled which ones. Yeah,
Just read the Charles Manson title.
I don't have it pulled up.
Okay.
Is the problem?
I'll read.
Are you editing or just
No, I'm just leaving it all in.
Just
Go ahead.
Okay, so apparently Charles Manson's bone fragments are headed to a haunted museum. So I didn't read too much into the article. Does anyone else want to break this down? Does it say what museum it's going to?
Well, this is working out great, by the way.
Yeah, this is fantastic, guys.
So Zach Bagans, he is the host of Ghost Adventures on Travel Channel. Or as I like to call him, the Ghost Bros, who scream in the dark at nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he has gone. He opened this museum, this quote unquote haunted museum, where he has a bunch of different artifacts. It's like the who are the people that own Annabelle?
Blumhouse.
No.
Oh,
the
actual people. Oh, the
what's her last name? Lauren?
No.
Anyway,
Yeah.
something like that. He has this Vegas haunted museum, which already features Manson's false teeth and 2 paintings, one that has his urine and another his ashes. And so now let's see. He has the electrodes taken off Manson's body after he died, along with the hospital bracelet. Then there are bone fragments. We're told, let's see, fragments go down Manson's body, burnt to a crisp. That tells us, yeah. So after he was cremated, there were some bone fragments left, and apparently he has them now, and they'll be on display in his museum.
Oh, so interesting
it was the
enough.
Warrens. It was the people that
The Warrens.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So in the office, the floor above me, they do like death videos. Like when you go to a funeral and they're playing a video of someone's life, like the funeral home offers that, but they sell the software to the funeral home.
Right.
So he knows, the owner of that knows a lot about how like cremation actually goes. When someone is cremated, it's not actually their ashes. What it is all of their, to get graphic about it, their flesh and everything burns away, and then all that's left is their bones, and then they grind those up to make bone dust, and that's what goes in the urn. But there can be
Bone
fragments
dust.
that don't get ground up fine enough, so they just take those out and trash them.
They kind of sift it and only get the fine powder stuff. That they
Also,
put inside.
they said when it's all ground up, they take a huge electromagnet and put it over, and they suck up like all the metal pieces that were inside the body, and
Like fillings and stuff like that.
Fillings, metal bones, screws,
Gold, perhaps.
Yeah, gold.
Your fake heart.
Yeah, pacemaker.
Pacemaker.
All that kind
Interesting fact. Okay.
Of stuff.
All right. Interesting.
Ryan Coolidge signs on to write and direct Black Panther sequel.
Cooler.
He is pretty cool.
He's Coolidge.
Yeah, Coolidge.
He's Coolidge.
Yeah, not cooler.
He's coolish.
Yeah, coolish. The filmmaker, because this went on to make Black Panther, the first one, ended up making $1.3 billion. And so they definitely, he had some leverage to be like, hey, I'm going to direct the sequel to this. Mm-hmm. And, although as far as, do you think it'll take place, after Infinity War Part 2? Kind of the aftermath?
I bet it will, yeah.
Well, that would be kind of an interesting premise because, I mean, Wakanda's now out in the open. Everybody knows that this place exists.
Yeah.
Which is kind of shifted, I would imagine, like the power over the whole entire world. You know what I mean?
Well, like they know that it exists, but is it still, is it visible? Can everyone see it? Or is it still hidden that they just know it's there somewhere?
I believe it's out in the open kind of a thing. They pulled like an Iron Man, just like I am Iron Man kind of a deal.
Well, I don't know, because in
Infinity War they broke down the barrier, like the invisible force field that they had.
Well, they probably had to put that up there to try to prevent that from happening, you know?
I don't know. I don't know if they don't know exactly where Wakanda is at this point, or just know it exists.
What the state of it is.
Yeah. What I am wondering, though, is now that it's been a few months since Black Panther came out, and we've all seen it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody made such a big stink about this movie.
Being
is
fantastic.
now that we've been so far removed, was it a little overhyped, do you think?
Yeah.
The only gripe that I have with it is the CGI.
Really?
It had really bad CGI when they were at the very end when they were both fighting each other.
The battle, yes.
Yeah,
yes,
that was terrible. Other than that, the movie I thought was great.
I mean, they're just going back and forth, and it wasn't really that big of an epic of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And the other scene that kind of bothered me a little bit is just the car chase through the city. That was kind of, I mean, I've seen bigger and better like car chases. So it's just kind of average. It's like, oh, okay.
I think the car chases are just overused anyways.
True.
Every movie has one where it goes on and it's like 5 to 10 minutes long. And it's like, can we get to the story?
Right.
Like Ant-Man had one. Black Panther had one. Venom had one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're all super long. And I don't know. I'm over them. I'm done.
What do you want instead?
I want like a bicycle chase.
Slow it down a little bit.
Just cover like 4 to 5 blocks instead of 17 miles in this one chase.
You need to see Premium Rush then.
Yeah.
With Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Ooh, yeah, I did like that movie. Yeah, I saw it.
It was all bicycle chases. Or that scene in Tomb Raider.
Mm-hmm.
The very opening scene in Tomb Raider. Yeah. A good bicycle chase can be really interesting, actually.
And it can be really well done.
And really funny.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways.
So, Captain Marvel. So we know that Brie Larson is going to be Captain Marvel. Well, apparently, she has been signed up for 7 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies.
That's too many.
That's crazy.
Well,
how can they continue this?
Robert Downey Jr. was signed up for that, man. So was Chris Evans.
Does that count their cameos?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not too bad.
Yeah.
She'll probably show up in Black Panther 2 or Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Right, so she'll be in, I'm sure she'll be in like...
3, yeah, 3, sorry.
Like 3 solo films.
Yes.
Captain Marvel 1, 2, and 3. She'll be in Infinity War 2. So that's 4 right there.
I think she will. I think you're right. It'll be Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Because, I mean, she can go into space. She can do whatever she wants. Black Panther?
No, I don't think so.
Helping out the Wakandans? Yeah, it didn't really seem like it would fit.
No.
She's too white. She's not allowed.
Well, I mean, she's
about
very,
white.
very white. Yeah, and right now that's pretty much all they know. Let's see. Before something,
do you think they have something planned that's just as big as Infinity War?
I don't know what could be.
Right.
Probably eventually.
Well, some sort of a team up again.
I'm sure they will. They're probably going to start up like the New Avengers,
right? Since
Chris Evans is done.
Are we kind of done with these movies?
No.
I'm just asking. I'll throw it out there. Wow.
I'll never be done, ever.
Or do you mean more for like TNA or ACT?
Well,
you done with TNA?
Never.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Iron Fist.
Oh, I thought we were taking a break, dude.
We're gonna take a break.
Yeah. Spoiler. Getting you guys excited for our next session.
This episode is great. We're doing just great. And I'm not going to edit any of this out.
Good.
We're keeping it in.
Keep it that way. It's organic.
Warts and all. Stay tuned, though. We got good stuff coming up. It's fantastic.
It's Iron Fist. Okay, let's go.
All right.
Are you feeling nostalgic about your music listening needs?
Do you like the tonal quality that only a record can provide?
Then go check out Lavender Vinyl, located at 123 25th Street, Ogden, Utah.
Yeah, go talk to Kylie or Blake. They have a large selection of new and used records. They will also buy your old records, maybe the ones that are just sitting up there in the attic, gathering dust. And if you can't find anything, they'll be more than happy to pre-order it for you. Now, you can always find them at lavendervinyl@gmail.com. You can also check out their website, lavendervinyl.com, or give them a call on the phone, like a normal person, at 385-240-0336.
Be sure to tell them that World War G sent you. Now back to the episode.
And we're back. All right, so Iron Fist. So we've all seen. Well,
did you make it through episode 6?
No,
I didn't even make it through episode 1.
no.
I made it to 2.
See, here's what I find that happens with me. I'll start watching this. I'll get like a couple episodes in, then I'll start just watching other things, and it'll just get buried.
Yeah.
And then the excitement's kind of gone. I'll just never go back to it. But
I feel like if they did make it or brought up something that was like really interesting or a big reveal, every couple of episodes, then it'd be like more engaging and you'd
More
want to watch it.
motivating to watch
Yeah,
it.
otherwise you seriously have to get through half the season before they finally like have reveal this big fight or reveal something big.
Well, I think part of the problem is they're just too serious.
Mm.
Like, they need to incorporate more lighthearted, like, it doesn't even have to be humor, but just lighthearted anything. And that's why Arrow and Flash have stuck around so long, is because they're very lighthearted and family friendly. But if you had kids, you wouldn't watch Iron Fist with them.
True.
But you would watch The Flash with them because it's fun and peppy
True.
and good for them. And I think that's the problem with the Marvel TV shows, is they're just too serious.
These ones are pretty brooding, which I'm perfectly fine with. It's just I don't know.
Like Jessica Jones was almost straight up depressing for me.
Yeah, it was. Personally, I think they just sort of stuck with Daredevil.
Yeah.
And just kept it there.
Yeah.
And then bring the other people in as characters in Daredevil instead of their own shows.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. And like, you could do Daredevil season 1 all about him, and then season 2 you bring on what's his name? Not Iron Fist. The black guy.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage, yeah, not Iron Fist. Or Jessica Jones was next, actually.
Yeah.
So have season 2 be about Jessica Jones, and then 3 Luke Cage, and then 4 Iron Fist.
I think what they could do, I don't know, did you ever watch like Orange is the New Black at all?
Yeah.
Okay, so where they have like, you're introduced to these other characters, but then you also get an episode where about 15 minutes of it is their backstory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they could have done something similar with this. Have Daredevil be your bread and butter, and then you introduce like Luke Cage and Iron Fist and these other guys to help out, and then you get their backstory in perhaps one episode, even like what they did with Stranger Things. You got a little bit of a backstory, but it wasn't the whole entire, a season dedicated to this one character that's mediocre at best.
And another one that they did that for is Prison Break.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they did it perfectly in that show.
Where they balance out the main story and kind of the whole story arc, but then they also, put these guys in the mix and tell their stories as well.
I think you don't really care about Luke Cage or Jessica Jones or Iron Fist, but you care about Daredevil for some reason.
Yeah. I mean, I actually have seen all of both seasons of Jessica Jones. That's the only one besides Daredevil that I have seen.
Not even The Punisher?
No. I think I saw the whole season of Luke Cage. I watched that whole thing. But that's it. I haven't seen the whole seasons of Punisher or Iron Fist because I'm just not that invested. And so I think what you were saying about how you slowly bring on these characters to guest star in Daredevil is probably the way to go.
Because he's the most popular of all of them.
He is. Because he's the most superhero-ish.
Yeah. which is crazy. Actually, that's probably the one that I would have picked that I would have wanted to know the most about anyways, out of the Defenders. And then, like, the season finale could have been the Defenders. They all team up together and take on, Kingpin or somebody.
And it's funny because he's the only one that doesn't have supernatural powers. He's just a normal guy.
Yep.
More relatable.
All this to say that Iron Fist has been canceled.
I'm not really surprised. Or I don't really. Yeah.
I thought that'd probably be the first one to go.
Really?
Yeah. And
the last one to start, the first one to go.
So then your pick for which one's going next? Luke Cage?
Probably.
Right? Jessica Jones had 2 seasons.
The Defenders. That's going to go first because they can't have Defenders without Iron Fist.
That's true. But I think the reason Jessica Jones is going to stick around is because, as depressing as it is, they actually have good writing and decent characters and good story arcs. Whereas as the others, I don't know, they're just something hollow about them.
There's a lot of character development going on. Like she's still changing, but Luke Cage was the same throughout the entire season.
Thing. Yeah.
He's the same guy who always had the same morals, but Jessica Jones kind of went from a little shady to being more righteous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Iron Fist is pretty much just Oliver Queen, but less cool.
Pretty much.
More or less. You can now stay overnight in the Christmas Story house. This it's like about $200 a night, and it's here in Cleveland.
Oh, yes,
but
we are in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Right?
Here in Cleveland, which is where we are.
Yep, Cleveland, Ohio. Okay. But it got me thinking, and I was kind of wondering, is there any other like childhood homes that you would like to have stayed in, or from movies or from television shows?
The Home Alone house.
Really?
Oh yeah, that thing's a freaking mansion.
It is big. Yeah. The problem is, though, a lot of the time the outside they'll film and the inside is completely different.
Right.
So take like the Brady Bunch home, for example. You see the outside, it looks a certain way, but the inside of the actual house is completely different. It doesn't look like it at all.
Yeah.
Because the inside was filmed on a studio.
Where they kind of just like cut the house in half.
Yeah. So taking that into...
I was thinking about it, and for myself, I think it would be pretty cool. And I'll be more specific, but I would say... like the mansion, Christopher Nolan's, like Bruce Wayne's mansion. That'd be pretty legit. I mean, because you could go down and explore.
With the Batcave.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
It'd have to be, dude. That one would be pretty awesome. I think the Ninja Turtles would be just depressing. Right? You go into the sewer, and it smells like horrible, and they're like, hey, you want some pizza? You're like,
yeah, sewer
honestly,
pizza.
A more normal one that's just kind of like a regular house that would just be fun to sit in is the That 70s Show house.
Oh, that would.
I just want to go down and sit on that couch.
Yeah, that'd be way cool. And then like just throw like Otter Pops or like drinks and stuff around each other. Yeah, sit in a circle. That would be.
I don't know. I'd like to go chill in like the friend's apartment.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be pretty awesome. You go to look outside and you see that naked dude across the way.
Ugly naked guy. Yeah. That or like Frasier's apartment, which is freaking huge.
Or the Central Perk coffee house.
Yep.
That'd be way cool.
Yeah.
Any other ones from movies?
I don't know about movies.
There's not really a standout house or
not really. Not that I can think
home
of.
or
The
mansion?
Smart House from Smart House.
Wow. That's a deep cut.
Until it like tries to like kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A random Disney
Could you
Channel
imagine
movie.
just like your room is messy and then you just
Blank
push the button
check.
and everything absorbs into the floor?
Yeah. That was I liked those Disney Channel films.
They were pretty good. They weren't half bad.
All right. So,
speaking of nostalgia.
Yeah. Rookie of the Year is getting a remake.
I loved that movie.
I loved it too. That is a movie that my brother and I still quote to this day.
And it's still it's rewatchable. And it holds up.
Like I can't count how many times we've said funky butt lovin' because of that movie. Yeah, it's getting a remake. The upcoming remake is set to be co-written by Dan Greger and Doug Mann and directed by Greger. The duo behind this year's murder mystery comedy Most Likely to Murder, starring Adam Pally and Rachel Bloom, as well as being known for their work on Bloom's acclaimed series Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and CBS' former hit sitcom How I Met Your Mother. Rookie of the Year, directed by Daniel Stern and written by Sam Harper, followed a young baseball player who, after injuring himself catching a fly ball, gets the ability to throw 100-mile-per-hour fastballs and is recruited by the Chicago Cubs in an effort to help win more games and bring in better crowds.
Because the Cubs need it.
Then, not so much now. See, I'm up to date on these things.
Wow, I was like, Troy just made a sports reference? What the what?
But yeah, I don't know.
They're going to try to be too funny.
Yeah, I
and
think so.
Rookie of the Year was funny, but it wasn't slapstick.
No, it wasn't slapstick.
And that's what this is going to be. I'm calling it now.
Yeah.
And they're also going to have a ton of cameos from like baseball players, whoever's really popular at the time.
And his manager will probably be like Kevin Hart or somebody.
And it's going to be a black kid. Everybody knows.
Yeah. Jaden Smith.
Oh, no.
Don't.
Yeah, but like, okay, growing up and watching this movie, I loved the whole idea where I'd do that with my brother. We'd just pretend to like crank back your fist and throw it as fast as you could.
Yeah, we just pretended we were like Jedis or
okay. I know that I'm still like the undefeated pro when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes, but would you care to guess what Rookie of the Year is at on Rotten Tomatoes?
32.
Are we doing critic or user?
We're doing critic.
I suck at these. 33.
All right there. Price is right.
37.
Yes! I'm the winner.
The critic is 52. So.
Only 52?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, we're looking through it through rose-tinted glasses here, guys.
Yeah, I think we are. Though, I have... When's the last time I watched it?
I've watched it in the last 10 years.
I think I have too. And I remember it still being entertaining. Maybe I'll have to check it out again. I do think that is where my love of sunflower seeds came from, was that movie.
Yeah.
Because Daniel Stern was always just packed with sunflower seeds.
There's some movies that I remember watching when I was a kid, and I freaking loved them, like Indian in the Cupboard.
Yes.
I don't know if that holds up, but I have very fond memories of watching that at my grandparents' house. And then there was one called The Other Sister. Did you guys ever watch that one?
It sounds familiar.
It's like these girls have this sister who's mentally challenged, and then she starts dating this guy who has the same condition that she does, and it's just all of their relationship as they progress, and that's still one of my favorite movies.
I watched more of the old classic ones with my grandparents. That Darn Cat, we'd watch that, and then also Swiss Family Robinson. Did you guys
you were big into those live action
Disney ones. Oh yeah, Blackbeard's Ghost, dude. Yeah. That's my jam right there.
No, I did watch recently two films I remember really, really liking as a kid. It was Father of the Bride 1 and 2. I really liked those films as a kid growing up. I thought they were fun and entertaining. No, they're not good.
Really,
especially the second one.
Is that Steve Martin?
It is Steve Martin. Yeah, they're kind of crap. Looking at it again, why did I?
The Jerk?
I don't know if I've ever actually seen The Jerk.
Don't
Okay.
Don't do it.
Don't.
It's so bad.
All right. Jeez.
It's like, gosh, you'll make a Google search of like the
don't be a jerk about it.
The funniest movies in the history of the world, and for some reason that movie will
come
be there.
up. Yeah.
It's stupid. It's so dumb. But anyways,
it's probably because other people from other countries are thinking it's hilarious.
Check out this funny American movie.
Oh, look at them do this stupid thing.
Oh, Steve Martin.
Yeah, that one's not good. Where he's like, "Can I be excused?" And then just sits there, and all this potty humor. And
Speaking of terrible movies,
Indiana Jones.
Hey, hang on. Were you thinking of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
What?
Where he had the eye patch, and he says, "May I be excused?" And he goes, and he sits there for a second, and then he goes,
Maybe
"Thank you."
That's what I was thinking. No.
That's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
No.
Yeah, him and
no, it's
Mike.
Not Dirty.
Yes.
No, I know which one's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Him and Michael Caine. He's sitting there at the table with the eye patch, and he goes,
"No, that's not Dirty Rotten Scoundrels."
Yes,
dude.
it is.
I'm 100% sure.
I'm 100% sure it is.
Oh man, I'm calling Troy out here. I know it's not. I know it's not.
I know it is, and there are people right now listening to this screaming that it is.
okay.
Yeah,
Troy,
look it up.
You're losing.
No, hang on.
You're getting your movie card revoked.
Nope.
That's not Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yes, it is. We're going to look it up right now.
As we speak.
We'll get to this last story here in a second.
In Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, he says, "Can I go to the bathroom?"
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm talking about.
But it is Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Nuh-uh.
When he's sitting there with the eye patch at the table.
Let's see this.
Boom. Boom.
Woo! That's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Don't come at me about movies.
Oh, man. Dang it. I thought for whatever reason that was The Jerk.
See, that was your first mistake. Thinking.
Oh man.
Wow.
I know. You really do have small man syndrome. We were talking about off the air, dude. Like, you do. He's like, no, I've got a temper. And Troy and I are like, no, really? You have a temper? Yeah. Oh, man.
I can throw shade with the best of them.
Yeah. You've been watching, like, Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Or
no, I've been
whatever.
watching just a bunch of queer TV.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, man. It's going off the rails quick.
Frank Marshall says Indiana Jones 5 isn't written, but will have a great story. Like, he's just trying to get him. Well, okay,
good.
Because I read the article, and the majority of it was just kind of crap. But he was talking about, he's like, well, I'm gonna take a little bit from its prequel, like the predecessors, but I'm gonna make it my own story because that's what I want to do. Is I want to like not use the source material. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. You're not going to
just don't use the last 2 source materials, and you'll be good.
Just the original 3 were okay.
Well, yeah. Hey, Last Crusade was all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Crystal Skull was not.
No, it was crap.
I went
That
to
was
see
horrible.
the midnight showing of that one, and I fell asleep. And I was a young buck who doesn't fall asleep around midnight.
Yeah.
But I also did see Iron Man that night too. I was tired.
When Shia LaBeouf's swinging through the trees.
Oh my gosh!
And actually catches back up to the Jeeps. I was like, wait, hold on a second. And then they have a sword fight on the Jeeps.
On the Jeep, yeah.
The monkeys following him as well.
I can't believe that the Disneyland Indiana Jones ride is better than that movie.
It's true, it is.
It really, yeah.
It's a lot more exciting.
Did you know there's like 3 different ones that the avenues that you can take with that one? Where like you're first sitting in the center, and then you've got the skulls off to either side. Mm-hmm. It's 3 different stories entirely. I mean, they share some similarities, but yeah.
Well, I'll have to go back to Disneyland to check that out. Or is that Universal? No, that's Disneyland.
It's Disneyland. Trust me, it's Disneyland. Come at me with that too. It's Disneyland.
Let's look it up, Troy.
Yeah, let's look it up.
Hey. It was a shot. It was a chance. I was taking a chance here.
It's okay. Oh, you got a feather from the crow.
Oh, nice.
Eating crow.
Nice.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. They actually do have black licorice candy that's called crow.
It's disgusting.
It's delicious.
That's disgusting.
Black licorice, gross. And on that note, let's take our last break. And when we come back, we're going to do a re-review of Venom because AJ and I saw it.
Yes.
Saw it. Sight. And I have some things to say. So we'll be back right after this.
After these messages,
We'll be right back.
And we're back. So, last week, Colton reviewed Venom.
Terribly.
And you said that you thought that
It was the best movie you'd ever seen.
No. I said it was my coworker's best movie he'd ever seen. But I did think that you would like it, AJ, but I wasn't sure about Troy.
Oh.
And you were right on both accounts. Because I thought it was pretty decent. I actually found myself kind of enjoying it.
Wasn't it like kind of scary at the beginning? Like not like scary, like it was a horror movie, but it was more scary than you were expecting it to be.
When he goes to that place where all the patients are,
Yeah.
it was very horror movie-esque.
It reminded me of like Alien. And he's trying to like free her and bust it out.
Mm-hmm. Here's the thing. In this world of movies like Infinity War and the Iron Man film, the Captain America films, Winter Soldier, Civil War, stuff like that, Spider-Man Homecoming, these incredible, larger-than-life superhero
Troy's about to call them
films.
masterpieces.
Well, some of them, I would say. To go back to and see a movie like Venom and basically think that I'm all of a sudden been transported back into 2004 and watching a sequel from the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, it's a little bit of a letdown, and that's what I thought. That's what it felt like.
Well, see, the problem is they're turning a villain into an anti-hero, which is hard to do. And you can't have a story like Spider-Man Homecoming or Iron Man where you start out just with pure good intentions at the beginning.
True. But you can have at least somewhat of a story, you know, for the very, very least. Okay. Here's my biggest gripe with it. Let me straighten it out here. The stuff with Eddie Brock and Venom was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought they did Venom really well. He's very much like he is in the comics. It's everything else around them that is crap.
So like the Elon Musk side of the story?
Yeah. Villain Von Bad Guy. Pretty much that should have been what his name was.
Insert villain here, kind of.
Because as soon as he popped up on screen, you're like, that's the villain. And he might as well have had a top hat, a cape, and a mustache that he could twirl and tie a woman up to the train tracks. That's how this guy acted. It was laughable.
Although he was fantastic in the TV show Night Of, which I'll have to check out. But
well, in Venom, he sucked. Really, really bad. And I didn't believe for a second that Michelle Williams and Tom Hardy were a couple. They had no chemistry at all. But that being said, the effects were cool. Mm-hmm. The stuff, like I said, the stuff with Venom, the big symbiote fight at the end.
Although that was actually cool. That was okay. That was the thing that I thought was my least favorite part was that fight towards the end.
Really?
Because it reminded me too much of the Incredible Hulk, where they looked pretty identical. So it's kind of difficult to keep track of who's who fighting each other, even in like Black Panther-esque.
I thought that little shot of when they were kind of broken up and you saw both symbiotes and both guys inside of the symbiote.
Oh, that looked legit.
That was cool.
That was, yeah.
So there are some genuinely cool moments in this film. It's just, as a whole, it's not good.
See, I think the problem with the movie is the story, because there is a story, but it's all packed into the last half of the movie. It just took way too long to gain momentum.
Yeah, maybe that's it. But yeah, I mean, there are some laugh out loud moments. When he's talking to Venom in his head, it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's really funny. And so
I thought their chemistry actually worked pretty well because he was still trying to figure out this world and what, you know, and he's just like, I'm a loser, just like you. Yeah. I'm like, because
you are a loser.
Yeah, and that was funny. So for me, I don't know what you're going to give, but for me, out of 5 symbiotes, I'm probably like 1.5, honestly.
See, I'm sitting at more like closer to 2.5. Like it's kind of the mid. Like I thought it had like some really good parts, and it was kind of cool because I've always grown up like loving Venom. One of my like favorite childhood memories is we were playing a game. I can't remember what it was. It was like a board game or a card game, and one of my friends said, "Whoever wins this game gets this like print of Venom." I still have it. Like, yeah, he's like one of my favorite characters. I've read like tons about him, and so to see him, Tom Hardy, up on the screen, I thought it kind of worked. I was skeptical at first, but I thought it was all right.
All right. So what would you give? Oh yeah, you gave it
2.5. Yeah. You guys did say. What did you think about? Are we able to talk about this or?
I didn't see them. I didn't see the end credit scenes. I know what they are.
Okay.
But I didn't see them in person. No.
Do you think it's early enough or late enough that we can talk about them?
Let's just say spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put that out there right now. We're talking spoilers. Yeah. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, Woody Harrelson as Carnage. Him with like that curly hair. He looked pretty bizarre, and I think they could have done better.
Maybe with the looks, but I think Woody Harrelson is a fantastic actor, and I think
absolutely.
he'll play the role perfectly. Mm-hmm. But And I think that they might see some comments about how he looks right now, because he's a serial. I don't think that he has the symbiote in him right now.
No,
he's just the serial killer as is.
Right.
I think that they may do some changes like they did with Thanos. Like, oh, he's way too purple. We need to get some of that purple out. Maybe they'll change
his look
a little bit.
Yeah.
Make him a little bit, tone him down a bit.
Shave his head.
Less Ronald McDonald. You know?
Shave his head, and then it's just like, not Rise of the Planet of the Apes. What was the third one?
War
for
where
he's like shaving his head. I did like where he went into the prison, and that was kind of cool. And even that back and forth, I thought he did a fantastic job. So he's going to play a dark character, but they're keeping somebody light enough who's going to be funny and charming that they could still incorporate it into the whole Spideyverse. You know, it's not going to be as dark, but I was already thinking about how Spider-Man would try to like take him down, you know, Venom, that is, or whether they would just team up to take down Carnage, which that's, I think, the direction they would go.
They keep saying that they're not bringing Spider-Man into this universe. They keep saying it.
But you said something about the next... Oh, wait, no, that was for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
The second one.
Yes. And along that lines, because they had the scene with him, and then if you stay till the very, very end, they actually had like a short, which was that new Spider-Man Into the Spideyverse. And it was, okay, so basically what it was is Spider-Man, he's running away from this like villain that's got claws, and it's kind of campy. And apparently Spider-Man in this universe has died. So then he is going to Peter Parker's graveside to kind of pay homage to him, or just to talk to him and be like, I know, like, you told me I have to do this and what I have to do, but it's really difficult. And then somebody like sneaks up behind him, and it's Peter Parker, and then they're trying to run away because he's passed out. And then so he picks up Peter Parker and runs with him, and they hooks to a train, and then shenanigans kind of ensue.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't all that great. Like, the animation style is throwing me off, because like we were talking about earlier, it kind of looks like cartoon / graphic.
It's like a comic book mixed with an animation. But I think
I like it.
It's probably really hard to adjust to that in a 5-minute short. You know, it probably takes almost a whole movie to get used to that and just be able to watch it for the film as it is.
For what it is, yeah.
So you'll probably just need to watch the movie. I don't know. I'm excited for the movie after I saw the trailer.
Yeah, me too. The only thing that's still bothering me about that is the actor they chose to play Peter Parker.
Same here. Voice actor?
Jake Johnson.
Ugh.
I like him. I think he's funny, but he is not a good Peter Parker.
No, not at all.
It looks like they're playing him as like this homeless bum.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. That's what he comes across as.
Like, or he can't pay for his food because he doesn't have any money and blah, blah, blah.
Spidey Pig is going to be the comic relief.
Well, I think...
Spider-Ham.
I think the reason why he was cheap in that trailer is because... And I think in the trailer they explain this. He came from another universe. So he literally has nothing.
Right. And
so that's why he said, I'm not very liquid right now, kind of as a joke. And I think they might play that up a little bit more in the actual movie. He feels like a middle-aged Spider-Man. Just the voice doesn't match the visual.
It doesn't.
He honestly looks like Adam Sandler in 8 Crazy Nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
That's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, now that you just mentioned that,
he's that character. He's that character
these are some
with Spider-Man
deep cuts here, dude.
8 Crazy Nights, Smart House.
Yeah.
But I'll still see. I'm intrigued because I want to see the different Spider-Man that pop up. Like, one of my favorites is Spider-Man Noir, and he's in there, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be.
I'm excited for the pig Spider-Man, Spider Pig,
Spider-Ham,
throwing it back to The Simpsons, or is there another Spider-Ham?
Spider-Ham's been around before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do animals talk in this universe?
Yeah.
I don't want to freak him out.
Yeah. All right. And you wanted to talk about First Man?
First Man, yeah. So basically, this is the story of Neil Armstrong and all of these missions and everything else leading up to, Apollo 11.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really well done. After right off the get-go, after the death of his daughter, like his daughter, they decide to move, and he invests all of his time and all of his efforts into this space program. That becomes basically his baby. Mm-hmm. He loses it, but it was really well done because you've got home life, and then you've got working with all of these geniuses trying to figure out these complicated problems. Their biggest problem that they had is basically you'd launch the rocket, go to the moon, release a capsule that the rocket ship that's going to propel you back is still floating around the moon. You land on the capsule, and then you shoot out from the capsule and reconnect with the rocket, and it takes you back to Earth.
Right.
Is that, which I can't even imagine or fathom how you'd go about like solving that type of a problem, you know? But then it was really interesting because you've got these men that they all have egos, and they all want to accomplish these different great things, and they all want to be the first man on the moon. But at the same time, they get assigned to these smaller, lesser missions, or like, hey, we need you to be on this one. Hey, we need you to do this. And they're dying off left and right. And I didn't realize how many casualties there were in this, in this feat to be able to accomplish to get somebody on the moon.
Yeah.
And it was one of those movies where, like, Troy, you know how you say, like, if it's a good movie, you'll find yourself, like, looking up stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, like, kind of, because I'm already, like, not gonna lie, I'm pretty skeptical about us that we ever landed on the moon. But.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there's some, I could go down the rabbit hole pretty quick.
That's a discussion for another time, I guess.
Yeah. But, I thought this story was fantastic. Plus, the technology and them trying to beat the Russians and just everything. This movie it was fantastic. It was really well done. It was one of Ryan Gosling's probably his best roles that he's done. Even the supporting cast was really. Did you like Hidden Figures?
Yeah.
If you like that one, I would say this one's just a little bit better. Like the way that they handled everything else, and I'm sitting at actually probably 4 out of 4 rocket ships. 4 out of 5.
Wow.
I'd be at 4.
And that's what I keep hearing too. People are really liking this movie. I guess I'll have to check it out.
Most definitely.
All right. Well, there you go. So you can listen to all of our episodes at worldwarg.podbean.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Google Play, and at cosmicpotato.com. Online.
On the Google.
Sorry,
you can search for us.
I'm still distracted by what you just said
about the moon.
Your little revelation there. Yes, that's distracting me. On social media, you can find us at facebook.com/worldwargpodcast. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. Just search at WWG Podcast. You can find all of our shirts and mugs and other merchandise. More coming soon at shop.spreadshirt.com/worldwarg. You can also email us anytime.
Day or night.
At worldwgpodcast@gmail.com. Also remember, you can call or email the show or text the show, whatever. I have issues now.
Do you want me to take over?
No, I got it. You can call or text the show at any time at 385-240-1692. Oh, this has been World War G show 194.
That's been Troy.
And, I've been Colton. Okay.
See you next week.
Last two. Barada. Nikto.